let's do our rankings then overall and where we got them here.
Ooh.
So we're going to start like you would at the bar, bottoms up. We're going to start at the bottom here. Now, I got to say, I didn't even hear your rankings before the show. You don't even get a chance to start this. And I put on my show notes here for us there the ratings of where everybody's at. And I rated them exactly how you and I ended up rating them, which is kind of scary. It's like I know you.
Oh, it's like we've talked about this kind of stuff for the past 3 years on air.
I know
3
you.
to 4 times a week.
I know you.
At 9 o'clock on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, sometimes Sundays, depending on what's going on through the week.
Or sometimes, if 5 times, who knows? You just never know.
Just saying,
oh my God,
it's not like we talked about this kind of stuff beforehand.
No,
just not as frequency.
Hey, listen, I'm proud of myself. I understood I understood the assignment. I got it right.
Yeah.
Number 4, the Washington Commanders. There, so again, it's the first overall pick they had that really is the killer. They just reached for the player that wasn't even the top guy at their position. So need picks can be not bad picks at times, but when you reach too much, it's an issue. Couple that with the fact that not impressed with Jalen Lane, and again, we said their best pick they had was Trey Amos, the corner out of Ole Miss, and I still stand by that. But Rob, am I crazy saying Jacory Croskey-Merritt is probably their second best pick? Just because of the potential this kid has to be an actual part of the running back room answer?
Yes, especially because where they got him.
Yeah. So when we're talking about your second best pick being a 7th round running back, that's not good.
No.
That's not good. So next up, and this was a close one, the next two. But if you remember the draft grades we gave on this one here, you gave a B. I gave a B minus. The B minus I gave, the minus is what separated and made the Eagles into 3rd place here. Very, very close race for 2nd place here. I'm sure.
Just to clarify, I gave him the B, but I was teetering.
But there's no teetering. You gave the B.
I just want to specify, because when it comes to like these drafts, I was very close and I gave a little bit more respect. I also gave a B to another team, but I also just said 10 minutes ago, I actually might give the edge to the Eagles on this, but
I think you would if it was just you in that scenario. I don't disagree with you at all on that point. I think you would. But you gave both a B, and I gave this team a B minus. The B minus is the difference.
Yeah.
So it's not your B. It's not your fault. It is my fault. I will take the blame, Rob. I will.
Right.
Don't worry. The Eagles fans won't hurt you. The Eagles fans won't hurt you. I won't let them hurt you, Rob. Well, I can be your hero, baby.
I have to go to Philadelphia on Friday, so please.
Yeah, it happens. So I mean, again, we didn't hate I just want to make it clear. We also didn't hate the Eagles draft class. A B minus and a B is not ridiculous. Not like we thought they just had no clue what they were doing. We like the Campbell pick a lot. You kind of reached a little there for a safety that got potential, but reached a little. Got a defensive tackle in a very, very deep defensive tackle round a year that we just didn't like. And literally, like I said, the first thing out of the Bleacher Report is Ty Robinson is a draftable player. You got him in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Then you got a kid that we didn't have in the 5th round. You didn't have him on the list there. You saw some kind of issues with him when he faced better competition. UCF isn't exactly the pinnacle again of schedules there, but a couple of times that he faced a rough talent, big talent, he had a rough outing. Backup linebacker, can't hate. Backup center, can't hate. A couple backup tackles, again, can't hate. All this stuff I can't hate. And we really do like Antoine Powell-Ryland. The last pick they had, it's weird. We had the last pick of these drafts. We were liking for these guys. We like him a lot. He's got probably a lot of good sneaky potential there. But the issues really is that besides the first round, that the first couple picks they had, like I said, Campbell, great pickup, but you reach, you got a who? And you got a guy who didn't face a lot of top end talent and struggled when he did. So 3 out of your first 4 picks got some big question marks for you. So
yeah,
that's why the minus for me on my end, which was the difference maker. It's not Rob's fault, guys. Don't be mad at him. It's my fault. When he goes there to your restaurantes, don't spit in his food.
Please.
Next up, number 2 was the Dallas Cowboys. That, again, you like the Eagles class just a little bit better than the Cowboys. I thought it was sneaky good, not great, but sneaky good.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't have as many question marks as I do for the Eagles because of, like I said, 3 out of their top 4 picks I questioned. The Cowboys, though, went out and got, again, it was in reach need, but they got the best guy at the position that they needed. Then they go ahead and get a guy that we thought was much better than most people did at the edge position. They got potentially a steal at, Savon Ravel. Got 2 running backs to go ahead and build up a stable of running backs in that room. And they got some legit competition at running back. That's the thing. When you got 4 running backs that you're going to go battle it out, 1 or 2 of them is going to bound to do something. Especially when you have decent offensive line. And again, they built up the trenches. They got a defensive tackle, an offensive tackle lead at that point there. I can't hate on it overall. I can't say, oh my God, it's an amazing draft. We'll get to the one that is in a minute. But,
yeah,
it's not a hate pick there. I think it's not a bad draft overall for them.
So, this is my opinion when it comes to the Cowboys and Eagles draft. And the difference maker. For me, it's why I gave the teeter to the Eagles.
You're still worried about the Philly people. They're not going to hate you, Rob.
No,
it's okay. Rob.
There's a better track record.
Yes.
Of the Eagles going out, taking questionable picks, and make it a very solid pick, and picks that people thought were better make look like fools because the people that they picked up played better and have a track record of being better in the league. So when we say questionable, we're talking about as 2 goofballs sitting outside of Philadelphia, sitting outside of Dallas or Arlington, and looking in and saying, who took this, who took that? But if you put a blindfold in front of me and said, who picked who and what teams are these going to, like, what would you classify it as? I would have to say on paper, like, Dallas looks like a better draft class, but you have to also give the edge to the coaching. That's the only difference.
I will say this again. I hate that we're literally spending this segment right now, like giving kudos to the coaching staffs of these teams, but the Cowboys really in general have not been bad at developing talent either.
No, just not recently.
It's just they haven't been able to win when they're in the playoffs. That's the issue with them. Like if you want to look at it objectively, they've had a very good run the last 10, 15 years. If you look just purely wins in the regular season.
Well, if you look purely wins, it's one thing.
Yeah. But the Eagles obviously now have 2 championships the last 15 years. They've had the better run because of that. But listen, I don't have it up in front of me, guys. But I guarantee if you look at the records between the last 15 years, the Cowboys, the Eagles are probably neck and neck in regular season.
Most likely. I mean, with the Cowboys were at 12-5 for the past 3-4 years. So, yeah, you're not wrong.
Let me see. I'm going to do it this way. Highest win percentage since 2010, I'm going to say, NFL. So that way it's 14 years, but I figure it's probably something to find at that point, Let's see. Here we go. Team winning percentage. So this is reversed now. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. The Giants were very high for a second. Yeah. Oh my, dude, I didn't even plan. Let me just put point blank. I did not plan this. I did not look this stat up beforehand. You can see my eyes. Those are watching the video that I'm looking at a screen to see what it is. Eagles number 6, Cowboys number 7 in win percentage. So the Eagles are at 5.72, Cowboys 5.53. It's literally a difference of 4 games and a tie in 14 years. That's how close those guys are. So again, they both have a decent track record of developing players. So that's why I'm saying it's a little odd as a fan of a team that really has trouble developing players. Let's be honest in that. For me to sound like we're kind of talking trash here, but it is what it is. We're just looking out based on the talent they got. And to me, the number one choice has got to be the New York Giants in this. We loved our draft, and I get it. Maybe we're homers, and I'm sure that if you got an Eagle fan or a Dallas fan or one of the 2 Commanders fans that live in this country, coming watching this, they're going to go ahead and say, "Oh, what the hell? Like, these are homers. They just picked the number 1." I don't you listen to draft pundits. Even they'll all tell you the Giants had one of the best, if not the best, draft classes of this draft.
Well, listen, a lot of people I talk to in that the metro area of Philadelphia since the draft, because I've not been into the actual Philadelphia area, but I've been to the suburbs all around it, which, a lot of Eagle fans. And when we talk draft, they say Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
Jason Dartley. You guys are great.
We got literally the best player in the draft talent-wise. Again, I have my questions personality-wise, health-wise, but he is the best player in this draft purely from a talent perspective.
Yeah.
Hard to beat that. Then you go get your quarterback in the future that you could sit for a year to train because you have 2 veterans in front of him.
Yeah. And you make sure to go get him.
Then you get a defensive tackle with a 2nd-round grade in the 3rd round. You get a running back that Maurice Jones-Drew. I'm going to say Maurice Jones-Drew. You think he might know something about running backs? But he was screaming up and down about the fact that he wasn't getting drafted earlier. He had him as 3rd best running back in this entire draft. He thought he'd go in a round 2 pick. We got him in the 4th round. Then we get Marcus and Bow. Again, I got to find out which one he prefers to go by. I keep hearing some people saying Bow or Bo and Bow. So if somebody sees what he prefers, let us know in the comment section, because I haven't seen anything yet as far as that. I want to make sure we're pronouncing his name correctly. He is a Giant. Therefore, we'll show him that respect. Plus, it's just kind of the right thing to do in general, even though we kind of
butchered somebody else. And you guys know him. Just let us know as well.
We didn't butcher somebody's name probably earlier, but it is what it is. So, but he was a 3rd round grade we had. A lot of people had a 3rd round grade on him as well. We got him in the 5th round. Again, 7th round picks. We've been consistent with 7th round picks. You're just you take people you see some potential and you move on. This was a really, really good draft class for the Giants. Now, again, we've had classes on this show. We've bashed our draft classes before. How many times have you and I flipped out when they pick players? We did not like the Deonte Banks pick at all. Let's be very frank, guys. We did not like the Deonte Banks pick.
No.
We were not very happy that night. We were, we were happy getting Neighbors last year. We liked the Tyler Newman pick last year. We didn't like the Drew Phillips pick, which turned out to be very good, obviously. So we're not always right. But this is a really good draft class, guys. And this has the potential to be a draft class that starts to this starts to be, the potential turnaround for the Giants. And I don't want to say definite turnaround for the Giants, but the potential turnaround for the Giants here, because they got people that they're looking to change the entire attitude of this football team with. Point blank, looking to change the entire attitude of the defense.
Looking at you, Carter.
It's not just him; they're all that way. It's like I said, it's up and down. It's really up and down. So now Now, I will address this real quick here because Vernon Jones here said, Drew, you said the Commanders drafted 5th best tackle, but he held Carter to 0 sacks and 0 pressures head-to-head. He did. He had a very good game against them. Now, I will say there is some question later on in the season as to what point Abdul Carter hurt his shoulder. I know they're saying that it was much later in the year. I've heard other people say that it wasn't as late in the year. That was the second to last game of the season, I believe, for the Penn State. Let me see here. Third to last game for the season. So I don't know if he was fully healthy even at that point. And I didn't make any excuses at that point either for him because, listen, you're allowed to have bad games. But I'm saying 5th best because we watched the tape overall, not just one game, and what he did at the Senior Bowl. So is what it is. Like I said, when you do evaluations, people are going to disagree. We're going to get upset at that. We promise.
Yeah.
But it's where we see it. So, like I said, I know it's going to sound like a homer one. We got the Giants number 1 as far as they're having the best draft class in this division. We have Cowboys number 2, Eagles number 3, and Commanders number 4. So feel free to discuss amongst yourselves. Feel free to put in the comments section what you guys think. If you agree, disagree, do you think we're crazy? We got a little crazy. It happens. So,
Goofy balls.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.